Hi. Post every training program of mine, people come to me with some query or the other. One very common query is, how can I speak like you confidently? How can I improve on my communication? Second is a query which comes either immediately after the session or months after that or even years after that, which is, how can I become a trainer like you? Or how can I even get into a profession like training? Many a times when people come to me and ask me this question, either in person or via different ways in which they can connect, I ask them this one first question: why do you want to become a trainer? And normally the one question that I get, which is very, very often, is, I have good communication and I think I can do the job well. When they tell me about communication, I instantly reply back asking, why don't you become a politician? Why don't you get into sales? Why don't you do an RJ? After all, you're good in communication. And then there's that subtle puzzled look, and then they say, no, I want to try my hands into training. Well, I obviously do not want to discourage anybody, because for me, this particular profession is a very, very noble and a responsible profession. But the question is, how many people actually see nobility in it? How many of them want to perform it responsibly? Why is it a responsible profession? Because obviously you're meeting people, you have influence over them, and then you can make or break their confidence, their morale, their future, their career. To me, one of the reasons why I always see training as a profession which can be for everybody and everybody is because I might don the title of a trainer, but if you are a sibling, you're a trainer. If you are a husband or a wife, you're a trainer. If you're a parent, you're a trainer. Hell, if you have friends, you're a trainer. Because you and I constantly teach somebody or the other. By that logic, we are a trainer and a teacher all the time. But if you really want to take up this as a profession, look, I always see life from a buffet and a pizza point of view. There's plenty for everybody. That doesn't mean that everybody should become that only. To me, I see my life and the resources around me pure like a buffet, meaning you and I can eat stomach full, maybe a little more than that stomach full, like how usually we Indians do, and still the food is not gonna run out, at least in that restaurant. But then if there's a pizza, just because I take one extra slice, you obviously get one less slice. So training, no doubt, comes from that buffet mindset. This video to you is coming out to you from that buffet mindset itself. Look, I want you to understand the real intent between you getting into training. Because often when you start doing training, you can do it with two different intentions. One is, do you want attention? And the other is, do you want connection? Because for me, it's always been about how can I connect with you, with my live audience, and can make as much of a difference as I can. Because when it comes to attention, I can get that from my friends, I can get that from my wife, I can get it from you as well, but then that attention will not have good intention, and that's something that I want you to keep in mind. For me, I've seen often with my own few employees as well as some of the freelance trainers that we engage, that if you are going to base this entire profession on the wrong idea of skills, then no doubt you will be a trainer, you will do multiple training programs. But then is it just to quench your inner urge to be that trainer, or to feed that ego, or to really feed the minds and hearts of the people who you are going to meet? I often joke about this. There are two kinds of trainers. There are those who train, and there are those who think they can train. What kind of trainer do you want to become? Whenever people ask me what differentiates me from other trainers, it's not my communication. It's definitely not my confidence. It is my compassion. and my passion towards how I want to give the best of my intentions to the others, to make that change, to make that difference onto people. But then ironically, I want to quote a few bad examples that you can learn from and then look at something that you should be doing. I've come across many trainers. I obviously will definitely meet many more trainers. It could be one of you in the future as well. Some of the incidents and lessons that I've learned from my very own trainers, without obviously taking their names, are these. I've always seen this entire profession based out of one factor, which is knowledge. The more I learn, the more I give what I learn. But there are some times where I've met our very own trainers who they give whatever they want to give, and the source is according to me. I feel it's that way, so the world has to function in that way itself. And that's the wrong idea. Remember, if you want to give light, you need to first expose yourself to light. Second, people think that they are so picture perfect that if things around them go wrong, it's not them, it's the people around them that are wrong. I remember once we had a trainer who walked in, did a very average or below average job, and when we asked what went wrong, she said, I did what I had to do, they were bad, they didn't pay attention, so why are you asking me? We were stunned and we were shocked and we did not know how to even respond. No doubt, every profession is driven for some kind of benefit. It can be a balance that will feed your bank account, or it can be a balance that will feed your emotional bank account. If you think that this profession is all about money, then you will definitely make money, but with the wrong intentions. Do you want to earn all the money possible with all the bad will for yourself? Because I know so many of my fellow trainers who every time they meet me, the one thing that they ask me is, when will you increase my money? I want this amount of money because I have so many commitments to take care. Well, in that case, sales has a lot of money, and the more you reach out to people, the more commissions you make. Why don't you look at that profession itself? A lot of times the professions that we choose are not just based on abilities, but it's also based on the kind of attitude that we have. I remember one such fond incident. This was in fact in the beginning of my career. I walked into one of the colleges and I was doing my session. During the break, a smart looking chap walked up to me and said, you think I can train? I said, of course you can train. And then he looked back to me and he said, I mean, what do? You talk, I can talk. You give an activity, I can give the activity. And with that kind of attitude, I could only wish that before he gets into this profession, may God or somebody help him change that attitude. Many a times I meet people who call themselves as some real street smart, confident individuals, but their intention is to just bully others. And that's not how you become a trainer. That's definitely how you become a bully, for sure. To me, and many people who I've known who are doing a fantastic job, especially in this particular profession, I've noticed a pattern. A lot of times I talk about this. Training to me was an accidental profession. I did not grow up to become a trainer. Hell, my entire childhood was full of doubts, full of inferiority complex. But then one led to another, that led to another. And I found me. And when I found me, I found this profession that I loved so much, which is training. I also remember an incident where a professor of mine asked me this question. Yunus, when we got to know that you became a trainer, knowing you how you were in college, we were shocked and we were stunned. I also smiled back and I told him in that same honest intention of mine that, sir, had to be, sir. Because throughout my life I was lost. But when I found myself, I made it a promise that anybody who's lost, through my abilities, through my training, at least can find themselves. So every single day that I walk into training rooms, it's the lost and found factor that I always emphasize on. I know that collectively my entire audience is better than me, but if I can make them better, when I walk out of the room, I am a winner. By making them better, I win. That's the reason why I always tell people this, that let this profession call you out. Don't scout and hunt for it. Many a times, if you want to really try training, I made this same factor work for my wife as well because of this very simple philosophy. You can't teach swimming without even jumping into the pool. So when I started working as well, I found my abilities. Through those abilities, I tried to channel what I can do. One love of mine, which was helping people, was the factor that drove me more towards training, not because I was good at public speaking. I remember when my wife came to me and asked me, Yunus, I want to get into training. What should I do? I said, work. And that's exactly what I tell many people who come and meet me. They finish their college, they're fresh out of the college, and they tell me that I want to start training. What should I do? First, work. First, know how that outside world is. Fall. Get your experiences. Get your story. And then finally, when you think that you're in a position to help, come. Leave all of that and help. That's in fact one of the reasons why the fundamental block of being a trainer is being a learner. Learn first and then help others to earn. It has always been in that fashion. Like how in sales many people say always be closing, in training I say always be learning. Oh, I remember how I was oblivious of the fact that knowledge was so instrumental. I've made plenty of videos on reading, so I don't want to get started. But then reading for me is my process of learning. I'm always learning, and I insist on you as well. Even if you become someday the world's greatest trainer, you will never stop learning because there's always something that we can read that can change lives, learn that can change lives, and that's what we do. I don't train for money. Yeah, I earn money, no doubt. I get paid for what my efforts are. But then I also have this one simple rule. I do not want to get more than what I give. I always want to give more than what I get paid. Because that way, I will always have the satisfaction. It might sound philosophical for you, but then check the best of the people who are doing their job. They do it just because they love it, not because an XYZ amount of money gets credited into their bank account, either month end or post the assignment. That's why I still give more than what I take. If you want to know more about how you can become a trainer, first of all, there's Google. You can Google. Learn. Get a list of skills. Make a checklist of those skills that you, whether you have it or not, and then do a transitional frame. That's in fact one of the reasons why I told my wife this. When she wanted to become a trainer, I said, work for 2 years. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. Because when you do what you do, you will learn how communication is, how relationships are, how the outside world is. And then when you finally feel that it's time, make a program of your own, using your own experiences and the umpteen amount of learning through experiences as well as reading that you've had, and then take that leap of faith slowly. Start first by giving free lectures to your own school and college in which you went. What better way to serve your own knowledge house that you got everything from? And then if you feel that you've definitely made up your mind that this is your profession, you can take that leap of faith, jump from your existing job in which you are or you will be, and then move into training. If you want me to make a video specifically for the skill sets that are required in this particular profession, then do leave a comment and I shall see if I can make a follow-up video. And if you are a trainer who's watching this and if I've missed out on something, please do comment and tell me what is it that I missed out, so that our fellow viewers and readers can get to know how they can take that leap of faith as a trainer as well. Until next time, have a beautiful